John Schechter here in the South Carolina State House lobby. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. It's still what, week 11, Mayan?
Week 11.
We're chugging along.
Right.
We're almost a month away from sine die. We're not there yet. It's May 14th. That's the last day of session. So we don't have to talk about it. We can just pretend it's in the offing. But
Absolutely.
things are kind of getting a little bit faster paced over here, Mayan. The House is back after their week-long furlough. They're going to be off again. Everyone's going to be kind of off again the week leading into Easter. But committee work is still happening. I'm just wondering, do you think, in your opinion, after covering sessions so many years in a row, like, this is when things kind of slow down in committees too, because reality starts to set in a sense. When bills are not going to make it, bills that will make it are already kind of going through the process or stuck on calendars at this point.
Right. I mean, I think we will still see a flurry of action in both chambers, mainly because they want to get their bills that are important to them across to the State House, right? Because there's still some flexibility in the calendar to do conference committees,
Sure.
to amend things back and forth. You can do that pretty quickly, and we've seen that done in even a matter of a day before. So that I think we're still going to see. But yes, I mean, by the time we really get into April, that's when we're going to really see some kind of waiting on certain bills, holding on certain bills.
Winners
Working
and
behind the
losers
scenes.
start emerging.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because again, as you know, and as most people know, this is the final year of a 2-year session.
Yes.
Especially in May, we're going to start to see things really pick back up because, again, everybody wants to get their bill passed, especially leadership, right? They have all this priority legislation that they want before the June primary, of course, but also this is the final year of a 2-year session, meaning any bill that does not become law this year effectively dies and will have to be refiled again next year.
Yeah, and we saw some action yesterday too, and I just want to mention them when we're talking about that furlough week. It's April 6th. That we won't see the House, and the Senate will be in perfunctory session, which means they won't be doing anything on the Senate floor as far as we understand it, but there could be also some meetings happening as well.
Right. The Senate Finance Committee is going to have to start working on their budget. They're kind of wrapping up budget hearings later this week. They may have some more at the beginning of next week as well. But that will really be the time where they can start working on their budget because later in April, they'll have to pass it on the floor.
And like we said, the House came back yesterday after their week off for furlough, and they did pass that. They did concur with the Senate amendments to that boat tax bill by Gary Brewer, who's a Republican out of Charleston, H. 3858, that would cut in half property taxes on boat phased in over the next 3 years, and also would not require boat owners to title their outboard motors. So that's been a long time coming. I know some friends in and outside the lobby are excited about that, as well as boat owners across the state too. They really hope to see that spur some activity when it comes to ownership as well. So that's going to the governor. We expect him to sign that at some point
We
too.
do. He signaled his support for it earlier last spring, almost a year ago actually. So would be shocked if that didn't happen.
And that just kind of shows how long it takes. I mean, this whole debate about tax exemptions for certain things and also changing tax regulations. I mean, it just goes to show how long it takes to get certain things done, especially when there's broad support for it too.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So then Mayan, also yesterday, the House didn't do too much. They worked through some of the calendar. I don't think there was any other really big bills that happened yesterday that went through the House off the top of my head.
No, I think the biggest thing, and that'll happen really today. Again, the House has kind of got a clear schedule today, which we know on Wednesdays typically means Wild Wednesdays,
Wicked
Wacky
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Where are we today? Wonky Wednesday? Do we know?
I think it'll be a bit of a wonky Wednesday because the bill that they've positioned to debate today is about insurance.
Oh my gosh.
Insurance companies,
Okay, enough said.
insurance policy holders. And so that's what they did yesterday. They
Yeah.
contested the bill to basically set it up for a much lengthier debate. Again, another Brewer bill.
Right.
This has been a really big Brewer week for him, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so we will see likely a very lengthy debate after some other legislative action today.
Also a big win Wednesday because we did see the House amenders beat the Senate filibusters yesterday in the annual legislative softball game. 11-7, the House took back the title this year after the Senate got it last year after years of the House winning. We were both there at Founders Park yesterday with a bunch of other folks, lobbyists, families, legislators. It was very all well and good. No one got injured, which was remarkable because a lot of middle-aged folks, a lot of weekend warriors on that field, a lot of movements that I was a little worried about. Now that I have my broken foot, which folks can't see, but we're almost out of the boot. But I was worried for a time there.
A lot of sliding happening,
Just for
and
softball.
again, we still have the legislative session to get through. Some
True.
pretty hefty debate happening.
Just a good plug to be
Right.
healthy, stretch, work out when you can,
That's
because
right. A good
anything can happen.
reminder. A good reminder.
Even the healthy amongst us
That's
still
right.
have issues. But Mayan, let's go to the Senate. They'll be in later today. The House is in right now. We'll jump there after we wrap up here. But the Senate has also gotten positioned for another big debate. What's going on there?
Right. So two quick things that they did yesterday. Do want to mention they sent out Senate Majority Leader Shane Massey's appointments bill. That bill largely again deals with gubernatorial appointments, consent, and advice from the Senate, but it also includes this measure now, which essentially kicks out Governor McMaster's interim director over the Department of Public Health, and that's Dr. Edward Simmer. He would have to vacate the building, vacate the job entirely by May 14th, the final day of the legislative session. Democrats tried to extend that deadline until later this year. That obviously failed, so now that bill goes over to the House. They also held the final last vote on the hemp consumable legislation.
Right.
They made some tweaks to it. That now goes over to the House, and we'll see what the House does with it. But the big thing happening today that we expect, again, we know that there is a pretty lengthy calendar. They will have to make it through that first. But there is a bill on special order, which is kind of the priority status section of the calendar, dealing with what has been referred to often as the bathroom bill.
Right.
And that is a bill that targets K through 12 public school bathrooms, college and university bathrooms, saying that you can use only the restroom, locker room, or changing room that corresponds with your biological sex at birth. It also includes a measure that says that all of these buildings must have a single user restroom available, which we don't know the cost of because an updated fiscal impact statement has not been created. But I mean, this is a very kind of obviously a controversial bill, very much a kind of Republican red meat bill that we have seen in other states. It codifies what is already state law right now because of a budget measure, but it further expands it.
Okay.
And again, so because we are in a Republican-dominated legislature, the bill has a strong chance of passing out and getting to the governor's desk this year.
Yeah, and again, like we're saying, there'll probably be some debate on that. I mean, I can't imagine it going beyond today in a sense, where the point is, I could see some amendments being floated around, but when it comes to filibustering this kind of bill, I'm sure Senate Republicans would probably invoke cloture and just kind of wrap it up as soon as they can versus, we saw the same thing happen over in the House. And again, this is not something that is overly technical, I feel like. When we were talking about the hemp bill debate, that went on for 2 weeks at least. And that was ins and outs. We're talking about commerce, we're talking about this and that. This one, it's been debated so much all the past couple of years that I don't see an appetite, especially when you have such a large calendar and the winding down of it and the March to Sine Die. I have to imagine that Senate leadership will be like, okay, let's try and knock this out in one day if we can.
Yeah, I certainly think it probably has the votes to pass. Now, I do think Democrats are going to do what they can to slow it down. To try to, as you mentioned, add amendments to it. It's already been contested on the calendar, which putting it on special order kind of helps that procedurally move along. So I do not doubt that Democrats are going to try to do whatever they can to try to kind of, again, delay that passage as much as possible.
I think after seeing their ability to also work together with some of the far right Republicans last week on the hemp-derived consumable bill, that again, leadership will probably be like, okay, here's enough of your time. Let's move this through and get to the rest of the calendar too. So it's moving and grooving. But again, like you said, a lot of bills have made it over to the House. Wait to see what they're going to do. The SCDOT modernization bill, the hemp-derived consumables bill. I would imagine that's probably going to go to a conference committee. Again, like we talked about yesterday, a lot of changes to that bill that originally was just a very loose regulation bill. Now it's completely different, and we saw similar activity in the House in February kind of implode under its own weight. So it would be a little naive to think that it'll be so easy to say, yeah, we concur, let's send it to the governor. And again, we don't really know where the governor stands on this yet either, so a lot to be seen on that.
Right, and the House kind of has a little bit of some more wiggle room, if you will, to debate some of these meatier bills, mainly because they are done with the budget. Now, they will get the budget back after the Senate passes it. They get because it is a House bill, they actually get kind of the final say in terms before it'll go to conference committee, and it always goes to conference committee, but it'll go back to the House. So they have some weeks to go. Taking out that yet another furlough week, that'll disrupt them a little bit, but they will have some more time to get through this legislation too. And I should mention the other thing that we're kind of waiting to see today out of the House is what they do with that governor's veto over the name, image, and likeness revenue sharing legislation that would shield those contracts between the universities and student athletes from ever being made public. The governor vetoed it, not because he disagreed entirely with the bill. He said he could understand why contracts with the individual athletes perhaps would be made secret. What he didn't like about it was that it would be an aggregate figure. So you could
Right.
know what the women's basketball team was getting from the school versus the football team. And the governor said that's not very transparent. The House, of course, passed that bill by a large measure, 111 to 2.
Yeah.
We do expect the House to override the veto. Where it becomes trickier, as we've mentioned, is in the Senate, which only passed that bill 30 to 13. And what's important is that to override a governor's veto, you don't need a simple majority. You need a higher threshold, 2/3 of the members voting present that day. So it becomes much trickier when you're in the 46-member chamber.
Gotcha. Yeah, and again, the Senate will be coming in at 1. The House is in right now. And just a little campaign trail update. We have a Democrat who's announced jumping in the gubernatorial race. That's upstate businessman Billy Webster, who's going to he's filing this morning, or around 12:30, I should say, and he's having a press conference as well. We'll have a recap of all he has to say in the gavel at scetv.org/thegavel, where we're giving you the updates every Tuesday through Friday about what's happening here at the State House, as well as, the overlapping campaign trail, because it's every 2 years. We got a lot going on up here. And again, filing closes on March 30th. That's next Monday at noon. So still TBD again on this governor's race. We're still waiting to see what State Senator Josh Kimbrell, Republican from Spartanburg, is going to do, because he has previously announced he's running, but hasn't really been fundraising as much, hasn't really been getting his message out there as much. So it's kind of this time when it comes to the campaign trail about push coming to shove, and we'll see what ends up with him. So a lot remains to be seen. I don't think there's any other big announcements from filing that I can think of off the top of my head.
The Lieutenant Governor will file tomorrow officially, but we already expected that. No, I think the governor's race, I think all these statewide races are really starting to kind of shape up, right?
Yeah.
If you don't file by the end of this week, the question mark is, what exactly are you waiting on?
The suspense.
Right, the suspense. And so I think by the end of this week, we will have a much better understanding of who's in the race, beyond just even Republican and Democrat. You have United Citizens Party, you have Green Party.
Right.
We'll see a much fuller kind of landscape of who's running for what office.
And I will say a lot of these folks that are announcing, like we saw Low Country businessman Ron Reddy, who's a Republican running, he jumped in the race last week, and he's already been blitzing the airwaves. If you watch anything besides ETV, watch commercial TV, you'll be seeing those ads. I don't watch anything besides public media and ETV, neither should you. But you're seeing those ads right now too. You're seeing Ralph Norman ads, you're seeing Pam Evitt ads, Alan Wilson. I mean, we are at this point now where the airwaves are getting saturated as we sprint towards that June 9th primary. Because once we wrap up here in the State House, I mean, between May 14th and June 9th, especially for some of these lawmakers in the House who are up for re-election, who may have primaries, they're going to be doing the same thing. I mean, they're going to want to get out of here as fast as possible on most days. If they do have challengers, which will be solidified come 12:01 p.m. on Monday, we'll find out where the fields are for some of these folks. So.
Absolutely, right. We're hitting the ground running.
Yes.
No stopping.
And we'll be bringing you the latest on that as well, again, at scetv.org/thegavel. And of course, you can also watch us on youtube.com/@scetv news. That's where we're live if you can't watch us over the air on ETV World. And we also bring you updates from the campaign trail, press conferences, and other big news, video highlights there as well on our social medias at SCETV, South Carolina ATV. And of course, we're bringing reporting on South Carolina Public Radio, which we're in our pledge drive right now. We're wrapping up pledge this Friday. So if you haven't given already, please consider a donation going to southcarolinapublicradio.org. Hit that donate button or call 800-256-8535. I'm Gavin Jackson, along with Mayan Schechter here in the State House lobby. We're going to send you over to the House, and again, the Senate is coming in today at 1 o'clock. Have a great Wednesday.
So first, Ms. Huesler is recognized for a special introduction. Ms. Huesler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I get members of the Coastal Carolina University Center of Applied Civic Leadership to please stand? I would like to welcome you to the State House. This group includes students who are part of their Civic Pluralism Fellowship and the Student Athlete Civic Leadership Fellowship. These students were each selected through a competitive process and represent some of CCU's most impressive young leaders. Among the group are future lawyers, doctors, nurses, teachers, scientists, and public servants, as well as our very own Anna Smith, who many of you have met, who has been serving as my intern up here on Wednesdays recently. She's doing a good job. As fellows, they focus on developing their leadership skills, including the important ability to work and communicate effectively across differences. They are mentored by HTC Honors College Dean Sarah Hottinger and Professor Justin Vaughn. Please join me in welcoming them to the State House.
Representative Jay Jordan is recognized for the next introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special group from back home that I want to recognize today. It's the Florence Christian School varsity girls basketball team. If y'all would stand up. First and foremost, my wife said I had to take your picture. So let's get that done. All right, check. This is a special group to me. I've watched so many of their games, such an exciting group to watch play. I knew they had a great team when they beat Dillon Christian pretty bad, Coach Hayes. Although Coach Minton, Coach Hayes just paid you a wonderful compliment, said he heard you and thought you were an excellent football coach. I said, well, he's a pretty good basketball coach too. Then they went and PD Academy, Mr. Luca, Mr. Atkinson, no match for them. And then what really impresses me, I know the speaker stepped away, but beating Wilson Hall by 20 points doesn't get much better than that.
That's the reason he stepped away, Mr. Jordan.
He was scared. But more than that, much more than that, thank you to Coach Minton, Coach Drummond. They're in the business of training and character too. And I can't tell you how impressed I am with this group of young ladies. Number 11 on the end is my very favorite. But they're a wonderful group of girls, and we are so proud of their character and their accomplishment. First ever state championship for the varsity girls basketball team. Help me congratulate them here at the State House today.
Congratulations, ladies. Well done. Welcome to the State House. We're glad you're here with us today. Thank you very much. I got you on the list. You got a group? Who's got a group upstairs? If you've got a group upstairs, we need you to go ahead and make your introductions. We got to rotate them through pretty quick today. If your group's already up there, let me know. If you have a group upstairs, please get on up here. Representative Britton's recognized for the next introduction. Representative Britton.
Good morning. We've got our Republican women here from Horry County. If they could please rise and stand, I'd like to say hello to them and welcome them to the State House. Always a pleasure to see you lovely ladies walking around these halls. I hope y'all have a fantastic day here at the State House. If everyone can help me welcome our women here from Horry County. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys.
Welcome to the State House, ladies. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all being here today. Mr. Moore, you ready? Hold on, Mr. Moore. I think Mr. Wooten's got his group. Mr. Wooten, you ready? Mr. Wooten's recognized for the next introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm here today with Representative Paula Calhoun, Raw Calhoun in the balcony with some very special folks in my life, and to celebrate Anna Heath Ray, Ellie Wells, Carly Wells, and Keelan Davis and the River Bluff High School girls swim team on their championship title of the 2025 5A Division South Carolina High School League State Championships. Congratulate these swimmers and their remarkable coaches. On October 10th at the University of South Carolina, River Bluff High School girls swim team competed in the 5A Division and took home the championship. Out of the 10 swimmers to take home gold medals in the competition, River Bluff had 4 swimmers that I would like to pull out a little separately. Anna Heath Ray captured 2 gold medals as a state champion in the 100-yard backstroke. And joining Anna on the gold medal winning 200-yard relay team were Ellie Wells, Carly Wells, and Keelan Davis. This extraordinary show of teamwork and perseverance proved to the Gators that we are second to none. In the balcony also as well is Principal Jacob Smith, Coach Andy Maurer, Coach Meredith Moles, and a few other folks from River Bluff I see up there with us. I appreciate y'all coming to take time out today, but if y'all will help me welcome the 5A girls swim champion gold medalists from River Bluff High School.
Welcome to the State House, ladies. Congratulations. Congratulations on a job well done. We appreciate you being here with us today. Mr. Bamberg's recognized for a quick introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I walk in today and I get word there's some good folks from Bamberg County visiting the State House today. If y'all are out there, can you stand for a second and wave? If y'all will, if y'all will, y'all please give them a big round of applause. Bamberg County in the building, baby. Good to see y'all.
Welcome, folks from Bamberg. We appreciate you being here today. Enjoy your visit. Hold on one second. Let's let some of these move on out, if you don't mind, Mr. Moore. Okay, Mr. Moore's recognized with a little help from some of his friends, including a senator we had, a distinguished member who's visiting with us today.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, I always appreciate the opportunity to recognize Dorman High School as it continues to set the standard in athletics. I'm proud to be joined by a fellow Dorman grad, Senator Lee Bright. Senator Shane Martin's in a meeting. He's a Dorman grad. Representative Brian Lawson's here. But first, I want to recognize the girls volleyball team. The Dorman girls volleyball team won their 17th state championship. Stand up, girls. On that day, the Cavaliers beat River Bluff in the best 3 out of 5 match. Dorman took the first set 26-28, won the second set, and lost the third. It was a thrilling set that went to the distance, culminating with a 15-13 win.
Excuse me, Mr. Moore. Hold on a second. House to come to order, please. Let's give Mr. Moore some respect. He's got a distinguished group of ladies up here. Let's House to come to order, please. Mr. Moore, you're recognized.
No, I appreciate that, Mr. Speaker. They definitely deserve the recognition. As I said, 17 state championships, 3 consecutive in 5A girls volleyball. They were led by 8 outstanding seniors. If you'll wave when I call your name: Grace America, Ramsey Lark Chastain, Catherine Caldwell, Maggie Hell, Mackenzie Mall, Meg Rasu, Reese Schugert, and Chelsea Zakosaus. For the second consecutive year in a row, Reese Schugert, listen to this, Reese Schugert was named the 5A Volleyball Player of the Year. And she's already, if I remember correctly, I don't know if she's there, she's already gone on to play volleyball at Auburn. So we are so proud of this team, their coaches, Paula Kirkland, Stephanie Chastain, Natalie Boyd, and Erin America. I want y'all to look at this. I know many of you have heard this before, but some of you are new members and didn't hear this last year. That coach standing right there, Paula Kirkland, 17 state championships. I don't know if there's a coach that has more state championships in South Carolina history. Yep. Congratulations, girls. We also have the boys volleyball team. Will the boys volleyball team please stand up? Dorman boys volleyball had another outstanding season this year. The team finished undefeated with a perfect 31-0 record, captured its 4th consecutive state championship. I believe that's every state championship since boys volleyball was recognized in this state. Throughout the season, the team challenged itself to become battle-tested. Dorman faced some of the top talent in the entire southeastern United States, and it ranked top 25 nationally. The Cavaliers went on to win the Endless Summer Volleyball Tournament, and by the end of the season, they were ranked #1 in the state and the nation. Dorman Boys Volleyball, coached by Drew Copeland, Madeline Pate, and Caroline Plexico. Congratulations, young men. We're so proud of you. And very quickly, we have just a handful of state individual champions. Michaela Moore, Reggie Crocker, if y'all stand up, listen to this. Michaela Moore, 120-pound weight class state champion. She set 3 state records: bench press, 145 pounds, squat, 280 pounds, and a combined total of 425. Michaela's a standout basketball player and a hard worker, state records in weightlifting. Also, Reggie Crocker, 190-pound weight class, bench press record of 135, squat 270, and she's also a key member of the lacrosse team. Will Ruth, if you'll stand up. Reigning champion, state champion in boys golf. In a dramatic playoff that lasted 5 holes, Will also won another second straight boys state golf championship as an individual. Individual state champions are amazing. We appreciate your contribution to the team, but also what you've done as an individual. And Jamarius Brown, are you here? Another individual state champion. I won't get into all the distances, but needless to say that he outperformed every other student in 5A track and field. He is not only your high jump state champion, he is the triple jump state champion for the entire state of South Carolina. Congratulations, Jamarius. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I know we only get 3 minutes. I assume that meant per team that you recognize them, but I'll finish this up real quick. If I could get John Stair, Bryant Robinson, and Mr. Dawkins to step down to the front real quick. As they're coming to the front, John Stair is the athletic director for Dorman High School. A lot of all this success is based off him and what he does for our district. But I do want to recognize Bryant Robertson, if you'll wave real quick. He is the current principal of Dorman High School, if you can imagine what that entails. But it was just announced today that that gentleman standing there in the middle, Mr. Joshua Dawkins, is the new principal of Dorman High School. He's a product of Spartanburg County School District 6. He's a graduate of Dorman High School. He is going in to fill some pretty big shoes, but we have a lot of confidence in him. We want to recognize him because I cannot imagine what it takes to administer Dorman High School there in Spartanburg. Thank you so much for everything y'all do for our community.
Congratulations, Dorman. All the athletes and administration, thank y'all very much for being here today. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Representative Erickson is recognized for the next introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Capital Day for the Public Charter School Alliance of South Carolina. They are celebrating 30 years. If we can congratulate them, all of the charter schools in our area, 65,000 students from across our state are represented here today. For all of them, for their advocacy, their work every day in their schools in every county of South Carolina, we applaud you and we thank you for everything you do. God bless you and keep it going.
Thank you very much for all you do for us. Appreciate you very much for being here today. Thank y'all. We appreciate it. Let's
Charlie, will you take some pictures when they stand?
House will come to order. Ms. Aremus has a special introduction. House will come to order, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I have the distinct honor of recognizing the women of Kappa Alpha Theta sorority at the University of South Carolina, which my beautiful daughter Jenna is a part of. They're joining us here in the gallery and they have stood so eloquently. Kappa Alpha Theta was originally established in 1870, making it the first Greek letter fraternity known among women, and it was proudly reestablished at the University of South Carolina just this past year. Even in a short time, this group of women has already made a meaningful impact on campus through leadership, scholarship, and service. These women live their values and strive for intellectual curiosity, leadership potential, commitment to service, and personal excellence. With us today are members from the executive board, along with several chapter members. I'll go really quickly. We have Bella Steele, the president. Gracie Sams, she is the vice president of membership. Jenna Aremus, the executive assistant. Laurel Williams, the ritualist. And then we have other members, Elizabeth Guerin, Reese Nelson, Caitlin Vasquez, Jenna Contino, Emma Weaver, Mary Cates McBurney, Sherry Chapman, Rena Humus, and Mitty Rotho. And I will say, if you're looking for a group that balances academics, involvement, and somehow still finds time to plan events, they are doing that better than most. I got to give them a quick plug. They are having their Color Run 5K on April 11th at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds. So if you need to run or if nobody's chasing you, this is a fun time to come do that. We are proud to have these women representing the University of South Carolina, making a strong impact on our state. Thank you, ladies, for all you do. Continue to strive for excellence and be your best self and representatives of the school. And thank you so much, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, ladies. Good to see all y'all again today. Thank y'all for being here. Which one's your daughter, Miss Aremus?
She's waving to us right now.
We're especially glad to have you with us today. Someone else got an announcement while we wait on the balcony to rotate? Mr. Williams, you want to give us an update on the victory last night? You and Coach Hayes, the original Coach Hayes, the best Coach Hayes. Yeah. Representative Williams, you're recognized to bring an exciting announcement to the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, could we get a little order because I want to make sure we understand what's going on here today. Well. The amenders won. Now last year, y'all give it up for amenders. Y'all come on. Last year, we were not as successful as this year. We brought the trophy back home where it belongs with a score of 11-7. Probably because of the fact that we finally stopped drinking beer in the dugout. And then we started playing. Speaker Smith got us started by giving us a prep talk and told us and mandate to us that if you're in the House, don't come back unless we win. So therefore, I think that prep talk gave our guys the tenacity that they needed to win this game. I just want to give a couple shout outs to a couple people who did some things that was great last night. Bryant Triplett, once again, kept us in the game with a home run, with a little bit of encouragement from Steve. Y'all can give it up, give it up. Now, we learned that everybody can't play softball. Not everybody. But on that day again, Representative Jermaine Johnson may need to stick to basketball instead of coming on the softball. But all the players play well, and he did good. So we're going to keep him on the team for next year, okay? Is that all right? We can keep him on the team.
That depends on what position he is in this time next year.
Also, I would like to say Representative Britton started us off, but shortly had to defer to Representative Huff, who pitched the entire game. Mitch, hey Mitch, we're glad that you hired Cody. Take notes, we need to do more hiring of athletes next year, so we're gonna ask you to put a couple folks in for us, okay? Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Dylan in the Speaker's office really showed us out on third base by ensuring us the victory. Representative Temple held strong at second base, only missing a few balls. But he held strong. We appreciate that. The infield stayed the same throughout the game, but we made many outfield changes that really held strong. Representative Remus, she's here, managed not to get hit by anything this year. But I can't say that about Representative Schuler, who was not as lucky this year. She got ran over. I thought she was playing football. I thought we was on the football field. But I'm glad that she didn't get hurt or injured. Representative Lastinger did great for his first legislative softball game. We're so glad that we won, that the trophy is back in the house where it belongs. We look forward to another year of fun and excitement for families and friends. And we want to thank all of you who came last night to support us. And we really couldn't win without your support. So once again, thank you so very much. At this time, I'm going to ask, as Coach Hayes hold the trophy, y'all see it? Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all make sure you get a good picture of it. But I'm going to ask Representative Remus to come and give some of her remarks.
But, Mr. Williams, before you do that, we have some questions. Would you take questions?
I'll be happy to take any question at any time from anybody.
Well, I believe that the former Coach Hayes is trying to regain his position as the real Coach Hayes. Coach Hayes, you are recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Coach Williams, congratulations on the big win last night. But moving forward with all this NIL and stuff, I hope you're going to be able to keep some of our same players. I would think Triplett would be number one on the list, that we do whatever he wants or needs to make sure that we keep him. And of course, your director of player personnel, Miss Ellie Hayes, you got to make sure that we keep her too, where she can navigate all the ins and outs that go forward. But I did enjoy it. Of course, my last coaching of the softball game was when Speaker Wilkins was in charge. That was many years ago, and for some reason he showed up late to the game, and I had to hold him out and didn't put him in immediately, so therefore I didn't coach the softball game anymore. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you, Coach Hayes. Certainly, we're going to do our best to keep some of the best on the team. We worked very hard. These guys worked very hard to win this game last night. And I do want to thank Coach Ellie for being such an outstanding coach, kind of putting folks in where they need to be. And I didn't have to worry about that so much. I worry about the other issues that we had to deal with. But certainly, thank you, Coach Hayes. We're gonna do better. We're gonna do even better next year, okay? Thank you for your question. Any more questions?
Miss Remus is recognized. I believe she wanted to say a quick word. Then we got to get back to real business.
Okay. Although we love you, Coach, and we appreciate you, but let's not let the real coach tell us what she did for us. We brought home the victory by putting a woman in charge. And let's just say the first run of the night was scored by a woman after all the boys struck out and did whatever they do. There's a lot of smack talking between y'all two, but let's just say who's going to get the last laugh, and it's us girls. So next year, y'all might want to put us in the starting lineup and not just there for moral support. But anyway, it was all in good fun. It's a great night that we all can come together and just put party lines aside and cheer each other on, and it's the best time. So if you don't play every year, I encourage you to get out there and do it.
I'm sorry, you're 10 minutes on the amendments up. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Representative Erickson is recognized for the next introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, members of House Education and Public Works, and anybody cares about retired educators.
House will come to order, please. We still got a lot of groups to introduce. So let's keep this thing moving.
I will be quick, Mr. Speaker, but the ladies and gentlemen up in the gallery wearing the red and white are icons in our state and in their communities. Mr. Speaker, let's take a moment, please, to thank the South Carolina Education Association, the members who are here today, the aspiring educators and their advisors, our retired SCEA members. They all are ongoing advocates for education across our state. They have given of their time and their talents and their treasure for years, and we appreciate everything that they do, they did, and will do. So thank you so much for visiting us. I know you've got a lot more people lined up to come in and out, but we wanted to take a moment and tell you how much you mean to us today. God bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all you have done and all you're still doing to help this great state of South Carolina. Thank you very much for being here today, and enjoy your visit. Representative Reese is recognized. House will come to order, please. House will come to order. Hold on a second, Mr. Reese. Let's make sure we... House will come to order, please, so we can... Representative Reese, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I come to recognize a group of individuals from the island nation of the Bahamas. Today we have a contingency of educators and education administrators who are here, who have traveled to our great state for a 3-day STEM conference focused on curriculum to career, a training that focuses on the intersectionality between education and workforce needs. The Curriculum to Careers Conference is hosted by the WOG Community Development Corporation and the Word of God Church and Ministries International, led by Bishop Eric Warren Davis. Today, these Bahamian administrators and educators will visit Compass Animation Studios, Han Automation Group, and Midlands Technical College to witness how technology is the bedrock of industry innovation and technological advancements in this great state. Members of the South Carolina House of Representatives, if you would please join me in welcoming this contingency of educators and administrators who have traveled all the way from the Bahamas to witness what we do in South Carolina. Welcome.
Welcome to the South Carolina. We're glad to have you here. We're glad to have you here. We got a dual citizen standing right here with the Bahamas, Mr. Herb Kurzman. Any of y'all from Cat Island up there? Anybody? You got no visitors up there, Mr. Herb Kurzman. Sorry. Welcome to South Carolina. We're glad you're here. Representative Grant's recognized for the next.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. An old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man crossed in twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man said, fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting strength with building here. Your journey will end in the ending day. You never must pass this way. The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I come, he said. There followeth me after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm has been not to me, to the fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him. That is The Bridge Builder by Will Allen Drungool. So, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, it has been said that while all good men may not be members of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, all members of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated are good men. So join with me Along with my host of colleagues, we have my fraternity brothers, Brother Bill Clyburn, Brother Lonnie Hosey, Brother John King, Brother Jerry Govan, Brother Chris Hart, Brother Robert Reese, and the star pitcher for the Senate last night, Senator Ronnie Sabb was with us earlier, but I know he had a meeting, who are all great men of the Mighty Six District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Founded on the campus of Howard University on November 17, 1911, 3 undergraduate students, Edgar Amos Love, Oscar James Cooper, Frank Coleman, and their advisor, fellow South Carolinian, Dr. Ernest Everett Just, set out to bring together college-trained men of similar high ideals and scholarship and manhood to stimulate ambition, promote humanity, freedom, and dignity, and an aid in achieving higher economic and intellectual status for all. Ladies and gentlemen, with over 750 chapters across the world, this great fraternity, some of its most distinguished members come from right here in the Palmetto State, to include Congressman James Clyburn, former Chief Justice Donald Beatty, banking extraordinaire Anthony T. Grant, Dr. Cleveland Sellers, Dr. Ronald McNair, Major General Charles Bolden, former state representatives and co-founders of the South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus, James Felder and Herbert Feeling, Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays, and if the list continued of famous Omega men of South Carolina to include the late, great Reverend Jesse Jackson, we would be here until Sinai died. But beyond the history, ladies and gentlemen of the House, we want you to walk away with this. These brothers are in your districts, every day strengthening communities through service. As our fraternity motto declares, friendship is essential to the soul. We stand ready to build new relationships and strengthen existing ones in the name of progress for our great state. So as we as a General Assembly have invested billions into our roads and into our bridges, we, the men of the Mighty Six District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, have dedicated our lives to being bridge builders, just as the poem that I opened my comments with. So at this time, as the brothers are standing in the balcony with us, we have our 38th district representative from the Mighty Six District, Brother Ulysses Sweeney. Also our current 44th district representative, Cedric Lucky, and the host of brothers, and Brother Craig Sweeney, who is over our committee, and the host of brothers from across this state. So ladies and gentlemen of the House, please welcome the men of the Mighty Six District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Welcome to the State House. It's always a good day. We have some Q dogs in the house.
And we are in the house, Mr. Speaker. Rue.
Mr. Guffey's recognized for the next announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we have with us a group known as MAMA, or Mothers Against Media Addiction. It's a grassroots movement of parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other allies that are standing up to media addiction. This is our first chapter in South Carolina. If y'all would help me welcome the South Carolina chapter of MAMA to the South Carolina State House.
Welcome, ladies. Good to see y'all. Thank you. Thank you for what you're trying to do in South Carolina. We appreciate that very much. Enjoy your visit. Anyone else have a group up there that's ready? Mr. Hewitt, you're recognized. Mr. Hewitt's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's both an honor and a privilege to welcome leaders of the South Carolina Free Clinic Association to the South Carolina State House today. If y'all could please stand up. There they are in the back. We are joined by Executive Director Patsy Whitney and a number of individual free clinic directors and board members from across the state who lead this important organization. There are 35 clinics in South Carolina operating in more than 50 locations serving all of our counties. The South Carolina Free Clinic supports a statewide network of member clinics that allow the clinics to be more effective in their work. This work is providing quality health care to uninsured and underinsured South Carolinians at no cost to the patient. These free clinics rely on dedication of both paid and volunteer licensed medical professions to deliver essential services including primary care, dental care, behavioral health services, education, immunizations, cancer screenings, and access to prescription medications. Please join me in welcoming the free clinics to the State House.
Welcome, folks. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for what you do. Good to see all y'all. Mr. McDaniel is recognized for the next one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we have Darrell Ray and Vernon Anderson up in the gallery, if you would please stand. Mr. Speaker, this gentleman went in my district, Vernon Anderson is, but they are here and they may be visiting some of the members. They're trying to do a pilot program and incorporate so that men who delay getting preventive care, that they can encourage these men to get preventive care, and if there are any issues with them, those issues would be diagnosed early on, then their lives may be longer lived here on earth. So I just want to commend them for coming here and for seeking guidance so that we can do more when it comes to the preventive health of, in particular, our black males, but males in general. So if you would join me, and if you allow me, in us thanking them for coming to the South Carolina House of Representatives.
Welcome to State House, gentlemen. Thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate it very much. Thank y'all for being here today. Ms. Dillard, you are recognized, Ms. Dillard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to invite anyone who values their public libraries in their community to join me today. Mr. Speaker, we have in the balcony more than 20 local library directors from across the state. They are gathered here as we celebrate the 250th founding of our country. They wanted you to know, or they want us to know, that libraries really predate that. Our records show that just over 325 years ago, in the 1700s, the colonial legislature of South Carolina became the first governing body in which of the United States to enact legislation establishing the intent for a public library system. I thought that was pretty amazing. And then in 1945, during the midst of World War II, the South Carolina General Assembly pioneered with the Virginia General Assembly to institute states and to institute state public libraries for funding for the first time. So these valuable organizations of libraries have been in our communities in our state for a very, very long time. And they do amazing work. Each of you know what your libraries do. But some of their stats, they have over 10.8 million library visits a year. Yes. People check out more than 26 million, y'all. Let me say that right. In print and non-print material. They enact more than 58,000 programs collectively to have young people, young at heart, all coming. And then 1 million people, more than 1 million people, engage in activities that they sponsor over the year. And so we want them to be encouraged. We want to thank them for their service. And we appreciate them coming today. And y'all, we do value what you do. and we want you to know that you do have the support of your South Carolina General Assembly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for your work with our public libraries. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here today. Mr. Herb Kurzman is recognized for the next introduction. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Folks, today we are excited to have representatives of the Palmetto Nuclear Coalition visiting us in the gallery, or as George W. would say, Nuclear Gallery Coalition. The Palmetto Nuclear Coalition was officially formed in May of last year and consists of over 25 businesses and organizations from across the state that are either a part of or support the nuclear power industry. If you all can realize this, 55% of South Carolina's total in-state generation comes from nuclear power. Thank you for being here, and please join me in welcoming the Palmetto Nuclear Coalition and its members to the State House. If you all would stand up, I'm standing up. Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for what you do. We need your help every single day. We appreciate what you do. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Who else has an introduction while we're rotating the balcony? Mr. Hartnett, you ready? Mr. Hartnett is... Mr. Hartnett, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, Mr. Speaker, today I rise to recognize March 25th, 2026, the South Carolina Professional Land Surveyors Day, and to highlight the critical role surveyors play in our state. Land surveying is both a science and a profession requiring precision, integrity, and sound judgment. Surveyors define property boundaries, support the development of our roads, bridges, water systems, and create the permanent records that underpin land ownership and economic growth in South Carolina. From infrastructure projects to private land transition, the people of our state rely on our licensed professional land surveyors to provide them with accurate data and uphold the highest ethical standards, ensuring public trust and protecting property rights. Today, we also take a moment to recognize an individual who exemplifies the very best of this professionalism. By naming March 25th, 2026 Professional Land Surveyors Day, we also want to recognize someone else that has left their mark on this profession. Today, the South Carolina Professional Land Surveyors has named Mr. Floyd Sweat as the 2026 Surveyor of the Year. For nearly 30 years, Mr. Sweat has been a cornerstone of the transportation surveying in South Carolina, demonstrating exceptional leadership and technical expertise. He retired from DOT after 30-plus years of service. His work has included complex boundary surveys, critical emergencies, response efforts, including a 2017 flooding in Nichols, where he surveyed data playing a vital role in recovery and restoration. We still find Mr. Sweat to be You will still find Mr. Sweat in the field behind an instrument, but now will not find him, but we'll find him as part of Sweat Land Surveying. He holds a bachelor's in science and surveying and mapping from Eastern Tennessee State University, is currently pursuing his master's of science and leadership at the Citadel. Throughout his career, Mr. Sweat has exemplified integrity, professionalism, and commitment to excellence, earning the respect of peers across the state. He is not only the past president of the South Carolina Society of Professional Land Surveyors, but he is also the president-elect of the South Carolina Society of Professional Land Surveyors. He is constantly giving back to the profession that has given him so much. Therefore, we are proud to recognize March 25th as South Carolina Professional Land Surveyors Day and to honor Mr. Floyd Sweat as our Surveyor of the Year, and thank him for his outstanding contributions to the profession and to the people of South Carolina. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Thank you for leading that group. All of you men and women up there, thank y'all for what you do. You can't do much in this state without a survey, that's for sure. So we appreciate what y'all do. Mr. Bamberg, I believe you have the Doctor of the Day. Mr. Bamberg is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you will take a look in the back, and I must lead with, of course, he's a medical professional And we like to thank him and all of the medical professionals that serve the citizens of this state. But as we know, it was Mega Psi-Phi Day up here, but he is a brother of the oldest, coldest, and boldest Alpha Phi Alpha, Dr. Wesley Frierson of Lexington County. His specialty is emergency medicine. So if you will, y'all please join me and give him a round of applause for his commitment to the medical field, his commitment to patients, and sir, your commitment to the state of South Carolina. We thank you so very much.
Appreciate it, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you for giving your time to us today. We appreciate that. Is that all the introductions that we have? Anybody, any other introductions? We're on the calendar. Clerk will read.
We have a veto message from the governor. To Merle Smith, I'm returning without my approval House Bill 4902.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the veto message from the governor, Mr. Hyatt is recognized to explain the veto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the NIL veto that the governor gave us a week or so ago while we were on furlough, and he vetoed this bill. Let me quickly recap where we were. Obviously, we all know what name, image, and likeness is related to our universities in South Carolina and across this nation. We passed a bill. I think that this is the third generation of a bill that we passed, trying to keep up with what's going on. And as I said from this podium, and when we passed it the third time, this probably won't be the last time. It'll be my last time, but it probably won't be the last time that many of you folks deal with it going forward, because it's an ever-changing proposition. The governor vetoed the bill. Many of you have seen what reason he vetoed it. He felt like that this money should be made private in an aggregate. He's not necessarily concerned about individual individual numbers being shared, but he felt like that the numbers ought to be shared as an aggregate. I still believe that we ought to override this veto simply because even putting it out in the aggregate still puts this state at a disadvantage when it comes to other states across the nation looking at numbers as to where if we were to put X amount of dollars in football and X amount of dollars in basketball, then you might get some infighting amongst athletes. Is why don't you give the same amount of money to each sport? Other states will look and see how much we pay our football program at, I'm going to use the number $30 million. Some other may come back and try to recruit the other kids and say, well, we're going to put $40 million in our football program. I don't believe it solves the problem related to our universities to keep this stuff private. He did not argue the point that he believes it's private money. He just felt like it should be shared in an aggregate. So I'm going to ask you to override this veto. And I think I saw some hands go up.
Mr. Magnus is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Representative Hyatt. My question, I've got a couple questions. One is, can you help us understand, is this public money or private money that we're talking about?
This is private money. All the athletic directors, I'm going to use South Carolina, Clemson, and Coastal because that's the main three in the state of South Carolina. All three of those athletic directors testified under oath that this is private money, that there's no public money. This is money that's given to their booster clubs such as IPTAY, the Gamecock Club, whatever Coastal's name of their fundraising efforts are. This is money that comes in, just like if they would go out and ask Mr. Magnuson for a contribution and you would give X amount of dollars to some university.
Well, thank you, sir, but how do we know that that's private money? What determines that, or how can the public verify that?
The way it's set up now is that I'm going to use the Gamecock Club because I'm a Carolina guy. The Gamecock Club, when that money goes into the Gamecock Club, that money is spent on their athletic programs. It's a separate fund from state dollars, so to speak. The revenue sharing money that they're talking about, the NCAA said you got to spend $20 million of money that they get from broadcasting rights, merchandise sales, and things like that. NCAA said you got to spend at least $20 million revenue sharing money. Revenue sharing money and collectives are two different things, and I've tried to explain that last time. It gets real confusing. But the NCAA said every school that participates in this has got to spend $20 million in revenue sharing money that the university's taken in through TV rights, merchandise sales, and things like that. That money is set aside strictly for revenue sharing for their athletes. And so that money is private money that's set aside by the university. It doesn't come through the state of South Carolina. It goes directly to the athletes from the Gamecock Club or IPTAY or whatever organization that school has.
Well, Representative Hyatt, did you know that I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I have heard from several constituents of mine that are concerned that there's not really a good way to verify that all of the money is private, and I feel like I need to represent the people, and so I'm going to be voting to uphold the veto today, even though I supported you on what you're trying to do, and I voted for the original bill, but did you know that I feel like I need to uphold the veto today?
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Moss is recognized for a question.
Representative Hyatt.
Yes, sir.
I didn't get to hear the beginning of it because I had some constituents out in the lobby, but do these college athletes still get scholarships? The ones that are getting paid to play, I'd say. I hate to use that word, but NIL is pay to play. So are they getting free meals? Are they getting free lodging? Are they getting free school? Are they still getting a full ride or what? So are they getting a W-2 with this unclaimed money that we paying them?
To answer the first part of your question, as far as I know, they're still getting a full scholarship if that's what they've worked out when they were recruited to come to that university. They're still getting tuition, food, whatever. I don't think any of that's changed with NIL.
Would it be fair to say that the people that are getting paid a significant amount of money shouldn't be getting free schooling and free lodging and free meals?
Well, I think that's a whole nother discussion we'd have to have. I don't know about that. That's not anything related to this bill. You asked a question about a W-2. If you have a collective, best of my knowledge, if you have an individual collective with some outside group, let's say that Coca-Cola hired Dennis Moss to do some PR work for them. Coca-Cola would give you a W-2 for the money that they gave you for your work on behalf of them. Now, if it's a private collective, that's a whole different thing. We're talking about revenue sharing money that the university is spending on these athletes. As I said earlier, that's two pots of money. So to answer the question, there are some athletes getting W-2s, yes, but they're not getting W-2s from the universities.
And who are they getting a W-2 from?
If they have whoever's paying them, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Moss Law Firm, whoever's paying them would give them a W-2. The university won't give them a W-2, but whoever is paying them as a private collector, there's still NIL deals being cut out there with private companies. You read about Nike hiring some of these guys and Adidas and Under Armour and all these guys. Those are separate. They have nothing to do with the university. University's dealing with the $20 million revenue sharing money that the NCAA said they had to spend on their athletes.
So is that the cap? That's all they can spend? Is
No, they have
20
to
million?
spend at least $20 million.
At least 20 million. So you might have some players making 5 to 8 million like you read or hear about.
That's correct. That's up to the university to decide whatever they feel like the value is of that athlete.
All right, thank you.
See no further questions. The question is, shall the House override the veto of the governor? Vote green to override, red to sustain. All members wishing to vote voted. Any objection to closing the roll call? Hear none, clerk close polls, tabulate. Vote of 88-22, House overrides veto of the governor.
Clerk read.
We have a committee report from the Aiken delegation, Senate 694 committee report.
Committee report.
As well as Abbeville delegation, House 5284.
What is that?
Committee report.
Committee report.
Committee report. 3M committee, favorable, Senate 449.
Committee report.
3M also favorable with amendment, Senate Bill 146.
Committee report.
3M committee reports favorable with amendment 5164 Hewitt.
Committee report.
3M committee reports favorable with amendment 4042
Committee report.
Kilmartin. 3M favorable with amendment 4799.
Committee report.
We have a committee report. Education favorable as is 4688.
Committee report.
Just stick it there, I got it. Thank you. Education Public Works favorable as is 5131 Hartnett.
Committee report.
Education favorable as is McGinnis 4736.
Committee report.
Education favorable with amendment 4737 McGinnis.
Committee report.
Favorable with amendment is Education Committee reports 4738.
Committee report.
A House resolution by Mr. Hickson honoring North Augusta.
Adopted.
Again, resolution Hickson, North Augusta girls.
Adopted.
I'm coming. I'll tell you. Mr. Woot, Gray Collegiate Academy.
Mr. Wooten asks unanimous consent to add a roll of House Any objections? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Wooten again, Gray Collegiate Academy softball.
Mr. Wooten again asks unanimous consent to add the roll of the House. Any objections? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Moss honoring Broome High School